the second that Hollywood doesn't give a fuck anymore. So, yes, unfortunately, it is rumored that they're going to gender swap Voldemort for their new Harry Potter show. And to that I say, why the fuck would you want to do that? What is the point of that? Because Voldemort is known to be one of the best Harry Potter villains of all time, one of the best villains of all time, and nobody wants to see Voldemort as a girl, like how they don't want to see Hermione as a dude. And Voldemort is always male. He's supposed to be scary, he's supposed to be intimidating. And the actress they got to potentially play Voldemort is Tilda Swinton. Now, I don't hate Tilda Swinton, but she is a horrible casting choice. She's really bad. Because she's a good actress, but she doesn't look she doesn't even look like Voldemort. Voldemort is supposed to have like pale white skin, and he doesn't have a nose, and his eyes are supposed to be slits. But when you look at Tilda Swinton, she looks nothing like Voldemort at all. And people are going to be really mad at this. People are already mad at this on TikTok. I watched a video where this guy said it's stupid to make Voldemort into a woman. Now, some people say it's different. Yeah, Voldemort getting dressed up as a 16-year-old girl in high school getting his ass spanked will be different. That wouldn't make the character fun. You know what villain really changed for the better? Wen-Wu in Shang-Chi. That villain was different, and he was even the father to Shang-Chi. That was a vastly different version of Mandarin. But gender swapping a beloved male villain, and not to mention one of the best Harry Potter villains of all time, it just feels stupid. I think they should have went with someone else, like Jude Law, Ben Kingsley, Gary Oldman, Giancarlo Esposito. Those actors would have been way better. But gender swapping a beloved villain is just so stupid. Remember the old Taskmaster thing? And remember that dumb thing they did on that Batman cartoon where they gender swapped the Penguin into a female? Yeah, that was really stupid. And I think this is going to be the worst case of gender swapping ever. And again, people might say, oh, it's different. And as I said a few minutes ago, Voldemort getting dressed up as a stripper and having his ass spanked at a strip club will be different. That wouldn't make the character memorable, it would just make him dumber. And again, this whole gender swapping thing is so stupid. And changing this character means they're going to ruin his origin. And they'll probably call him like something like Tina Riddles. Well, in the original books, in the movies, it was Tom Riddles. That was his real identity. But the students couldn't say Voldemort's name because it was too scary. It's one of those like things like you cannot say that word because it embraces fear into the students' mind. And the thing that made Voldemort so memorable was the actor they actually got, Ralph Fiennes. His vocal performance was really scary, and he didn't scream at the top of his lungs. So, I don't get why they don't get Ralph Fiennes to come back, or an actor that sounds like him, but you get the ancient one to play this villain, which is so stupid, because Voldemort is supposed to be one of the best movie villains of all time. He's supposed to be one of the best book villains of all time as well. But gender swapping him, it just feels so stupid. And we all said since 2021 that no one wants to see more gender swapping. Just like the whole Mother Gothel thing. They don't want to see Black Widow as Mother Gothel, but sadly we're going to get that. But I think this is worse. Because it just doesn't work. In fact, I don't care if this sounds super offensive or really out of place. Javier Bardem, as weird as it would be, even though he's not British, Bardem would have been a better choice for Voldemort because Javier Bardem can be scary. We all seen it in No Country for Old Men and in Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Dead Man Tell No Tales, a movie that people don't like, but people said that Javier Bardem stole the entire movie. So why couldn't we get Javier Bardem as Voldemort, but yet we get the ancient one as Voldemort? It's just so stupid. Even Mark Hamill would have been a much better choice. Yeah, as dumb as it would be, Mark Hamill can be scary. Again, he's the Joker. And this is going to piss off hardcore Harry Potter fans. Because this show is already pissing them off enough with the whole race bending of Professor Snape. And again, they should have cast someone like Adam Driver, who looks exactly like him from the comics. From the books and the movies. But no, since they want to change stuff because they're stupid, they say, oh, we're going to make Professor Snape African American, which I don't mind that change, but the actor has to give a good performance. And I think Idris Elba, and he's actually British, by the way, Idris Elba would be a better choice for Professor Snape. But this whole Voldemort thing is just so stupid. Again, we all said since 2021, no more gender swapping. The Ratcatcher, that's okay because the Ratcatcher is an obscure villain. So that's why they gender swapped the character in the Suicide Squad movie from 2021. And I was happy with that because she was the daughter of the original Ratcatcher, Otis Flanagan. So that was okay. But gender bending a beloved male character, it does not work. And I feel like Hollywood should just keep the characters' genders the same. Just keep Voldemort as a male. Keep Hermione as a woman. Just keep it all the same. Now, Voldemort can pretend to be a woman because he has magic. So, if it was Gary Oldman as Voldemort and he decided to trick Harry Potter into thinking he's talking to Hermione, but it's really him, but he is imitating Hermione by being all charming and nice to Harry Potter, but he's actually luring him into a trap. That's fine because Voldemort is still a guy. He's just dressing up as a woman to play mind games with Harry Potter. So that's fine. If a villain pretends to be a woman, like cross-dresses, that's fine. But gender swapping the whole character together, it just does not work. I feel like this is already pissing off a lot of fans. And in the words of General Ross, aka Harrison Ford, you're not Ralph Fiennes. Yeah, Tilda Swinton is never going to hold a candle to Ralph Fiennes' iconic performance. So yeah, this whole gender swapping of Voldemort is just so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And this whole show could die by season 1. And the way I can summarize all these remakes and all these gender swapping nonsense, I say, let it die, let it die, let it shrivel up and die. If you don't know that moment, that is in the Lorax where O'Hare sings a song about wanting the tree to die. So that's how I feel about this whole gender swapping thing and remakes that Hollywood is making. So that's how I feel about the Hollywood making these dumb choices. Now, comment down below and let me know what are your thoughts on Voldemort possibly being played by Tilda Swinton and being a woman. I think it's bloody disgusting and really stupid. So that's going to be it for my video of my thoughts on the potential gender swapping of Voldemort. So stupid, so dumb, and just feels misguided. And it's just here to piss off the fans. So that is going to be it for my video on my thoughts on Voldemort being gender swapped. Hope you guys enjoyed.